Hello, everybody. Hi. Are you joining me here? And here we go. Live at 9:30, and somehow or other my orientation got screwed up. So hang on just a sec. If you're with me, I'm happy to have you here. This is Claudia, and we are live today. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna hold. Hi, I'm so happy to have you here with me. So let's see. Interesting. Okay, so I'm happy to have you here with me today. My name is Claudia Caraba, and I am a spiritual advisor. Now, what that means is that for today's world, with all of its challenges, ups, downs, all arounds, we're going to be handling things in a little different way. You're way more than you think you are, and from my perspective, you are a soul, God's child, a soul inhabiting this human form to have experiences here on the earth. And with that in mind, then you're going to get a response from me for any one of your problems, troubles, difficulties, challenges that has to do with the spirit first, and how following the laws, the spiritual laws, as opposed to man-made. Now let me just elaborate on that a little, because our lives were meant to be taking us on a closer walk with God, and indeed they are. And what's happening for you and me is that I'm just trying to fix this. They made me go this direction. Is that we don't exactly know what that means. And so because I've lived my life one step at a time, sometimes in the wrong direction, sometimes going backwards, sometimes repeating things over and over again until I understand that. Hey, can you tell the chat to spam with priest in the chat? I don't know what you mean by that question. Can you clarify that just a little bit for me? Because I'm happy to address any question at all. It doesn't matter who you are. It does not. Hello, everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what ethnicity you are, what culture you're from, what your belief systems are. Spirituality is the, hello priest, is the God within us. And we have a genetic structure that includes a God gene. Now that gene is something science is mystified by, because they don't have a clear picture of it yet, but it is our quantum nature, which just tells me you're way more than you think you are. So I want to welcome you here. My name is Claudia. I'm a spiritual advisor. I deal with the spirit that is within each of you as individuals, because you maintain your personality, having a form. This is the Claudia that you see. That's the physical form, but within me is the spirit of our Creator, and you can call that whatever you want: Yahweh, Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, God, Creator. The indigenous people in some cultures call it Great Spirit. And so that's what I address. Now, what that means for you is that, and this is to me all about us moving forward in a positive way towards integrating that spirit that is within us to help us along life's path, along life's journey, so that we can move more quickly through it and not keep bumping up against the same challenges over and over and over again. So I don't know how many of you have been following some of my videos, but I started a series September 2023 called From Clueless to Awareness. And what that means is that was my life's journey, arriving to the point where I'm no longer clueless. I understand that in order for my life to get onto a positive path and in a positive direction, and for me to understand what's going on, I have to recognize, become aware. Hi, that's right. We're actually, hi Michael, we're actually, we're bringing heaven to earth by integrating what can't be seen, but you can feel it. So let's just start at the basics here for a minute. The body that we were given is a barometer of sorts. It is what I call our compass. And listen, if you're stumbling and kicking yourself, you're stumbling over the rocks and you keep doing the same thing. Maybe it's with a relationship. Maybe it's with, for me, I'll just tell you with me, it was that I could never speak what was true for me. Somebody would ask me what I wanted to eat. Somebody would ask me where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and I did not have an answer. And that was because in my younger years as a child, everything that I wanted was completely tossed away, discounted, beaten out of me. And that is because, well, there were just circumstances. We all have our own story, don't we? For many, something is out of place because, that's right, meditation does, thank you. Because you don't even recognize that you're not being yourself. It is that when you're out of sorts, when you're feeling disconnected from maybe the world or maybe what's going on, I just blacked out. I mean, I didn't even talk about clueless, right? I mean, I didn't understand that my feelings mattered, that I count as a person. And of course, in my later years, I'm in my 70s now, and so many of you know that and have heard that from me, but it has taken me a good chunk of my life to get there. Now, I meditated and I did all kinds of things, but I can tell you this, sometimes we need help. And because we can't unlock all those mysteries that are buried within us, that are blocking us from expressing our full self, being our authentic self. And there may be things that you enjoy that allow some of that expression of freedom, and that is good for you. Hi. And it's important. It's important to unlock those things. So there's lots we can do. We can go out in nature and go for walks. That closely mimics our true energy or frequency, which is on the rise. We can meditate. And when I say meditate, it can be 5 quiet minutes alone in your home to just be with yourself. Just be an observer. Watch your thoughts going by. Don't engage with your thoughts. Just observe them. Oh, why am I having that thought? Oh, just let it go. Let it go. Or actually meditating, and that is moving into a deeper place within you. Our God self resides as a connection here, and we have a high heart now. We have chakra systems. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask along the way here. So when I say moving forward, it means we have to be present to the moment. And yes, present to the moment. We'll address that a little bit. And contribute anything you want, Michael. I appreciate it. But in the present moment, you need to become aware of how you're feeling. Now, we deal with the outside world, right? We deal with the rent, and we deal with the car breaking down, or that argument with the partner or the spouse or the boss, or not getting the job in favor of someone else younger, taking over for where you've been working, struggling and striving to get ahead. All those things cause us to suppress our emotions or feelings, or can. And I'm not going to say they do, but they can. And so it's up to us to become aware that that is an expression of not expressing yourself, of unworthiness, that I must not be, okay. I must have done something wrong. I must not be in favor of that individual. Why am I being made a doormat or a rug? Or, why did I get betrayed? Why is he cheating on me? All of those kinds of things and more. There's so many. There's such a big variety. But what I can say about, our life is that you have your own situations that are going on. So if you have something you want an answer to, that's what I'm all about. Ask a question and we'll address it for you, right? And this week I have posted things. I'm waiting for more to join us, but this week I have posted things like, you are right where you need to be. And here I am telling you that, you can be disjointed over here or elevated and happy over here. And when you're elevated, then that's a good spot for you to be, right? Good place. When you're not feeling so good about something, we need to find ways to elevate that. And so maybe you can tell me what you do in order to shift your mood, in order to shift your situation or circumstance. How do you get out of a situation that isn't fulfilling or satisfying for you? The other thing that I would like to address is that if we're going to move forward, what does that look like? What are you going to do in order to move away from the situations that are holding you back? And maybe you can share with me your own experiences of what you've done in order for that to happen. What I know is that you have to unlock some of those things that I think are fearful within us that are holding us back. My method was, and still is at times, I'm like, oh, you're afraid of that. Why? But I take that fear, and I just recognize it initially as fear. So this is part of the becoming awareness from the clueless stage that something's going on, that's holding you back. And when you do, I started taking that and imagining it as a little piece of brick wall. If you can't move beyond it, for me it was a brick wall. And I just said, well, you know what? I want you to go over here, as if I had walked around to an opening. So now it's walking side by side with me. Brick wall, me. Brick wall, me. But it's not in front of me, stopping me anymore. Now, for me, it made it more comfortable. It didn't stop me, because we are all compelled. We all have this compulsion within us to be more, to be ourselves and not to hold back. But if we really can't see why we're being held back, then sit with it a while. And that's where meditation, sitting, for me it's by water, under a tree, going for a walk in nature. I lived in the Pacific Northwest. That's where I grew up. Now there's a lot of forests and greenery and mosses and ferns and beautiful lush smells of the forest. And I could sit out in that, or looking out at water, and just settle into some place within me that the answers would come. And it wasn't necessarily showing me what had happened that was holding me back. It was more that the way God works is to tell you you're worthy. that you are valuable, that you are capable, you are able to do anything you want to do, whether somebody has told you can't do that or not. It's your individuals to your own experiences. And so listening, when you meditate, this is creating an opening for God to come in, speak with us, tell us that you're okay, you're better than okay. You were born with the God gene within you, that quantum thing that we don't know about, that's unseen. I think we do know about it because we know when something's not right for us. We know that. You know it, and so do I. So, I've been trying to, put that back up. I want to see that again. Live chat, all messages. So I've been trying to do more for others. I just started doing some volunteer work that I'm enjoying. I'm shy, so it helps. So here's one of our viewers who is just saying she stepped a little bit outside of herself in order to volunteer, and being a shy person, she knows she has something to offer, and that is a step beyond that. That's moving that wall that's in front of you off to the side and even behind you, because the more you do that, the more you experience yourself moving fear aside, then the stronger you become in your true authentic self. And volunteering is a really marvelous way to do that, whether it is, at a senior center, at your school, or your child's school, or just helping at a nursing facility, or some other way that you can offer something that you enjoy doing, and just being, I can tell you that all the way back in the 80s, when it wasn't, how do I say this? When it was AIDS was rampant, I would go into an area in the hospital where I was a gray lady, because once you become 35 or 40 you're old, and sit with individuals who had been isolated because of an illness or disease, and write notes for them, write little letters, play cards with them, do that sort of thing. And so there are things that you can do. I did that for a couple of years, and then I managed to become a facilitator of workshops, to engage people to get more closer into themselves, and just unlock those things that have been buried or hidden. Now, I'll share a little bit about my story. Many of you know I was seriously abused, and I mean tons of broken bones, sexually abused, mentally, emotionally, physically. I've covered the whole works, right? And that was from 18 months all the way up to approximately, 19 years old is when I ended it, because I fought back, and it was an unconscious thing that I wasn't even aware of. Actually, it was. I had an abusive family member, and unconsciously, it was my job to soak that person's hands and get the dead skin off. And the water was so hot that when I took his hands out to do the scrubbing and cleaning, they were massive, big blisters. And I looked at that, and of course immediately felt ashamed. And unconsciously I did that because I wanted the abuse to stop. Now, that individual isn't with us anymore. It doesn't bear talking about. I'm telling you that there are things inside of you that you know and understand, because when you bump into it, in life. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm in my 70s. It's taken me a long time to figure some of this stuff out. And I have the help of my creator and my guides. They're very good to me and they talk to me. So all kinds of things. But you're way more than you think you are. That's what I want to tell you. So moving forward, you have to look forward. If you're stuck right where you are, then get out a piece of paper and a pencil, pen, whatever, crayon, have some fun, make it colorful, and jot down the thing that is giving you the most trouble, the thing that you keep bumping up against. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a relationship, job, your own self-talk. Are you telling yourself that you're not worthy? Are you telling yourself that person is right? Are you telling yourself that you did something wrong, to be betrayed, to get cheated on, to be abused, No, you're not any of that. But write it down. Just write it down. And if it says I'm abused, I'm not worthy, I am not smart enough, I am not wise enough, I am not capable, then I want you to take that paper, write it down. You gotta put it in physical form. And then I want you to take that paper and fold it, and then fold it again, and then take it to your fireplace, to the fire pit, or out in the yard, and stand there with it and say, the truth is, I'm worthy. I'm worthy of only the best and good, highest good that comes into my life. I'm a child of God, and so I'm sending this up to you to take care of it and get it out of my life and burn it. Burn it. I am worthy. I am capable. I am beautiful. I am, I'm an amazing person. And, I never thought any of that. In fact, I still don't feel myself beautiful if you stand me next to somebody who has really got but you know what? Whose eyes do I need to be beautiful in? Mine. My Creator put me here and in this form. So the first step to looking forward is getting rid of what has been holding you back. And so start with something simple like that. Write it down. Take the paper. You don't want to look at it. And you can feel it when you write it. It's bad enough to do that. And then offer it up to your God, whatever that looks like to you, and just share it. Just send it away. Give it up to Him to take care of. He'll handle it. Because once you move it from here out to there, then you create an opening for all the good that He has been trying to plant in you to come in. And what that does when you create an opening is it allows an inspired thought to come in for you to do something like go out and share your gifts, discover more gifts, unload and unpack those things that have been hidden away. In sharing a little bit of my story, I was so little when the abuse started that I didn't even really have any knowledge of it. I just jumped ship. The spirit in me and the consciousness in me just went, I'm going to go over here while whatever's going on over here with me, takes place. And so I wasn't even aware until I was in how old was I? I remember the first time I became aware and I had a sense. I had a knowing, and this is your inner compass talking to you. When you have a sense about something not being right, you're knowing, you're aware of it, but you just can't quite pin it down, lock into it. Just sit with that in love. Move it into your heart. It's a head thing at this point because, abuses, being cheated on, being taken advantage of, and in a vulnerable place where people, where are the people that are supposed to be keeping me safe? They're just not present. So what happened for me was I was getting ready to go to a Tai Chi class taught by a Chinese woman. Now, this was in the Seattle area where I worked and lived around there. And I get a phone call from her, and she said, I have to move that Tai Chi class to a different location, and here's where we're going to go. And I said, oh, okay. And all of a sudden there was just silence. And she said, what do you like to do when you need time to yourself? And I started just saying, because remember, I don't have a focus, a pinpoint on what I really want. I'm just thinking, and I said, oh, I like to read, and I like to just, go for a little walk, and then I said, no, I said, I need to be by the water. That's what I like. I didn't realize that would be so emotional. And she said, now it's the middle of the day. And she said, I want you to go run a bath. And she said, do you have any of those Chinese herbs that I gave to you or that you got from me? And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, well, I want you to go run a bath. I want you to get in it, put a cup of those Chinese herbs in there. And she said, just allow yourself to just soak in that water. And I said, oh, okay. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, listen, I'm a working person. I'm a mother and a wife. And I thought, yeah, right. So I started going about my business, just kind of discounting that and noting, that I was going to go to a Tai Chi class later in the day somewhere other than. But all of a sudden, I turned around. I went. I got the tub going. And I've got the herbs in there. And I said, well, you need some candles. So I put some candles around the tub. And I got myself into it and just, eased all the way up to my head. And the next thing I know, I was sobbing. And the thought was coming to me, your pain has a name. And I could see the abuse. I could see it, and I could see who the perpetrator was, and I was just in that release mode. I was not trying to hold it or push it down. I think all those years that I had stuffed it so deep that I wasn't even aware, that had happened. So that's what I'm telling you my experience was. Okay, now what can you do? What can you do to unlock some of those things and move beyond them? And that would be about anything. It is up to you to become aware of how you're feeling, whether something is wanting to come out, but you're holding it back, you're pushing it down. And I will tell you, there's a wonderful book called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. I do not remember who the author is, but in my days of becoming a body and energy worker, it was one of those books that altered my life. Feelings buried alive never die. They're waiting for an outlet. Okay. So here we are in this moving forward and looking forward. You've released some mechanism up to the heavens, and now you have an opening. So get another piece of paper. What is it you want to fill that empty hole with? Or you can ask your creator, ask your guardians guides and guardians, what would be the optimal thing that would bring you happiness to fill that hole with? Happiness, joy, satisfaction, fulfillment. That is what you're looking to do. You're looking to create something for yourself. And once you have implanted that, or once you know, and you might even have some clues, what did you really want to do back there when you were little? I was I was always in fantasy land. Do you remember Pippi Longstockings and the little roller coaster she built? And then there was Amelia Earhart, who just stirred my imagination. And then there was Helen Keller, who could do so much without being able to see. There were so many things that went on. I really wanted to be a nightclub singer. I wanted to sit and sing music all night long. I still love musicals and all genre of music. But you know what? I'm just saying, and I do sing. In fact, I was able to be in a play, in a production, and not to toot my own horn, but I will a little bit. In that production, I stumbled across it. I was working at a facility at the ARE, the Association for Research and Enlightenment, with Edgar Cayce's affiliation, and working there. And when I got off work and the books were done and I was locking up the door, I could hear music coming from the auditorium. And so I went to peek in, and they were singing from one of my favorite musicals, and that was Man of La Mancha. So I went and found, just quietly sitting in the back row, and all of a sudden the director, who was people were just there, and we're just singing and having a good time, and he said, "Come on down." He said, "We're just singing here." So I kind of thought, well, okay. I mean, it had been 25 years since I'd done any singing. That was really what I wanted to go into, and I couldn't quite manage that early in my life. So anyhow, I went down, gathered around the piano with everybody else, and started singing the song we were singing, To Dream the Impossible Dream, I'm sure. And he just stopped, and he said, "I have a part for you." And I went, I'm looking, I thought maybe there was somebody around me or behind me, but that was how music came back into my life, and I had forgotten its significance and the importance and the amount of joy that it brings to me, or brought to me. And so, you got to look for something like that. What haven't you done for a long time? What is it that would be meaningful to you? And when you can tap into one or two or three or half a dozen or a dozen things, pick out what's really most important that you think, get started on it. That is you moving forward into joy, into happiness, into elevating and uplifting yourself up to where you're supposed to be. The way I see it, this life is meant to be taking us on a closer walk through with God, closer walk with God. And because we're so challenged, and I think everybody is, some have kind of mastered some of those things that keep their spirits high, and some are still, juggling back and forth. In fact, I've been in a dark night of the soul for about 8 years now, working on all that. But remember, I'm not going to call myself a special case, but I had so much trauma that I had no mind, no mind of my own. And I'm a smart person, so it was kind of illuminating to me to discover that, yeah, you're worthy. Yeah, you really are a very smart and talented and fun and person who likes to uplift others. Well, I like to uplift others because it was so hard for me to do it for myself. And so, that's me looking forward. So you need to do that for yourself. I'm just going to tell you, I don't usually tell people what you need to do. I'm telling you, you need to find things that have you engage in your happier nature so that you have things to fall back on when your energy goes south. So in moving forward, what are we moving towards? And it is that closer walk with God. We have a genetic code within us that is the God gene, it's been called. And you can look that up on the internet. There's so much information out there now. We are expanding, we're unfolding, we're growing, we're peeling away the layers of the onion, and we're stepping up into a higher, more vibrant life, into the light of God's creation and becoming co-creators with our Creator. And so when we keep ourselves stuck right here, can't move, it's not, I want to go up, but I'm still sticking to what's, down here. I want to go up, but I don't know how, contact me. Send me a question. I will give you some steps. I will help you with some clues. I've been gifted with some very special gifts. And thank you. I've had some wonderful moments in my life. I've had some very difficult moments, that's for sure. But when you don't know what to do, you have to you can't keep doing the same thing you're doing and expect anything different. And that's where I come in. I can help you. I can access what you really want through your words, through your connecting with that aspect of yourself. And I can help give you a set of steps to start taking, and we can do that together, because listen, we're all in this to raise this energy. We're raising everything. We want to bring heaven to earth. We don't want all this greed and disconnect and harmony to continue. And if you're buying into anything that causes you to be fearful, my friend, stop looking at it. Stop thinking about it. Stop whatever you're doing that's engaging in that fear. It's useless. It is the stickiness. This part of you says, I gotta get out of this. We gotta stop it, right? So the way to stop it, listen, if you have a fire going and you're fearful, fear is gasoline that fuels the fire. Fear is gasoline. What you put your attention on, you're going to get more of it. It's a spiritual law. It's God's law. Where you want to go and what you want to do and what you want to be is here. Not down here in this sticky. You got to pull yourself. You got to extricate. And no one can do that for you. This is your work. This is what you came here to do. You're a soul first. A soul having this experience. And extricating yourself from that worldliness around you is the job. You can look at it, but only in the sense of, how can I uplift that? How can I send love to it, surround it in love, and, cause a difference, cause a shift, cause a creator to, a creation to explode into happiness. We're on our way to building the golden era of peace. Peace, love, joy, truth, trust, harmony. Okay, does that mean anything to you? It means everything to me. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of the wealthy being so greedy. What happened to sharing and giving the shirt off your back and offering a pair of shoes or whatever? I mean, there's so many things you can do to in generous ways that don't cost a thing. And this one little gal was just sent a comment a little bit ago about deciding to share some of her time by offering to, help others in some way. Now that may be just walking side by side with a slow person trying to cross the street, and the light is about to change. You don't have to take their arm. They have their pride too. You can just walk slowly behind them, beside them, stopping traffic. I had a brother that used to walk like this, put his hand out there and don't you dare move that car. I loved him. That was so great. There's so much you can do, and it's simple, it's easy, and it's doable. And the important thing is here, in order to move forward, you have to look forward. You're here, but you got to say, I want to be here. What I want to be doing is this, and make yourself a list. Start those. The things about manifesting are, manifestation or bringing something into your life is a multi-part process, and we can do a class on it if you want, but you just leave a comment and just say, let's do a class about that. But manifesting is you putting it in your desire bucket list, and then waiting for an inspired thought. Now, inspired thoughts come from your God consciousness, right? God consciousness. If it's a thought from your head, then it's likely that you're still dealing with it here in the earthly plane, and we don't want that. We want stuff that's coming from, you're designed to have inspired thoughts fuel your life. And in order for that to happen, you've got to be open for it and make the distinction about what feels good here and what thoughts am I having here that are keeping me down here. Down here, down lower and lower and lower. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? It's up to you, but we're in this together. I'm in this with you, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Leave comments here, every one of those questions that you have about whatever's going on in your life that you could use a few steps to get you turned around and going in a different direction. Now, I want to tell you, anytime we decide to make a change, and change can be uncomfortable, it is not easy, but change can lead to transformation. And so doing it once, it's like, whoa, I'm not sure how that went, but it's fine. Keep at it. The more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes. It's really like a recipe that sounds good, and you're trying it for the first time, and you're like, what do you want me to do here? Why is that? You just have to follow the process. And remember, your feelings are going to tell you yes or no. Yes, feels good. No, not the right path. My son used to tell me when he went to college, just starting college, and he said, boy, that class is so hard and that teacher is so difficult. And I said, have you ever had that class before? And he said, no, I haven't. And I said, well, you're learning something new. When you're learning something new, you have to be easy on yourself, because you're intelligent, you're smart, you're clever. And so by just staying with it, you gain information. And each piece of information is a stepping stone, a building block that you are creating that leads you to more things, right? So this is a manifestation. Ankar, this is a manifestation. And so do a little bit. Be proud of yourself for taking that step, and work yourself into a state of ease about that. You really did it. Yes, this is good. I'm headed in the right direction. And remember, if you're not headed in the right direction, all of a sudden your insides go, Now, the distinction is it really your insides? Because if you move, if you're working from here, and my friends, this is a little bit of a challenge to start getting familiar with what's coming that's dealing with the outside world, what's coming from your heart and what your thoughts are, because our job is to allow the heart to lead the conversation. And when it does, and when we follow, it becomes a good thing. So, this past week, go back and look at a few things that I've posted. The first one, I think, is a short, and it's "You're right where you need to be." So I want you to understand that there's no wrong thing to do. Even if you can feel yourself dropping, that's not wrong. It's talking to you. And so listen. It's like trying to understand a child when they're learning to talk and you don't understand the words. You just have to sit with a little bit or get them to lead you. Well, and I talk to God all the time. Well, show me. Can you just give me a little clearer, give me some clarity about that, is probably what I would shorten it to now. I just want to understand it a little better. And because then you've elevated that question up here, and you're operating down here. So you're moving it up all by yourself. So you're right where you need to be. That goodbyes are important, because remember, when you shift and change, you begin to incorporate those changes, and it transforms you into you're being transformed by your power into the person you want to be, and it's all unfolding around you. So just know that you are in charge of this. Others are going to have conversations about, why are you doing that now? What's going on there? And it's like, well, I really don't know. I'm just trying some new stuff. So yeah, just let it be. Just let it be. And I want you to know that the next time we'll talk about freeing yourself from worry. Free yourself from worry. Worry serves no useful purpose at all. None. Okay, now I have a question. Well, one question, what you think. Oh, here we go. All live chat. Where's my... Okay, what a wonderful moment must have been. I totally agree about nothing wrong. Which class? Okay, just a minute. One question. Disappeared. Chats. Okay, what you think about smoking? I smoke a lot of cigarettes nowadays. Even my mom worries about me. Uncle, let me tell you that I have a video not too far back. I think it's probably from March, and it's a short that tells you that smoking is a smoke screen. It's a way to hide behind feelings. It's a way to not address something. When I smoked and I realized that, I had to leave, get away from something and go out to have a cigarette, it's because I didn't want to address it, or I didn't know how to address it. I wasn't sure what to do about it. But smoking is not good for you, but you're doing it because you don't have another methodology to deal with what you want to deal with. So you can contact me personally. I'll answer that question for you individually. And so you can tap on the comments, or excuse me, in the more box, and you'll get a way to reach me, and I'll take care of that, start that process with you. So, freeing yourself from worry. And my friends, you have been working hard all this time. You may not know it, but you've been working hard. You have been facing your challenges, your ups, your downs, the bumps, and the roadblocks, and the hassles, and all of the other things. But your inner compass has been working with you. It's been telling you what to believe. It's been telling you, move away from that. It's been telling you, yes, more of that. It is that guidance system that's always within you. It is part of your God consciousness. So get used to it. Start a little journal. Make notes about how you're doing or feel like you're doing with what you're learning. And know that together we're moving forward. We're moving into God consciousness. We're moving into an era of peace, truth and trust, harmony, love, cooperation. And when we do that, we're not fueling the other fires of chaos that are going rampant, running rampant. So do you understand what I'm saying? I hope so. So for me, let's wrap this up here today. And I want to know if this time worked for you. And I'm going to do another one. I was hoping to do it tonight, but I may do it tomorrow. And it'll follow the same, pretty much the same kind of a path, but maybe you have formulated some questions by then that I can answer for you. So until the next time, I want to thank you for joining me live here today. What a pleasure to have so many people commenting and asking questions. And know that I have another channel. It's called Ask Claudia. What would CJ do? CJ's my nickname. Please use it. All my friends do. And thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. I also like to know, what's going on in your life, how I can be of help or service to you. It's my work. And, I have a question here. I'm feeling a shift to change something in my life. However, I've struggled because of the message. We're right where we are supposed to be. I think perhaps I shouldn't make any moves. Okay, so let me just tell you, I'm not saying that that any moment, I mean, every moment is a breath you take. When you have a sense that you need to be doing something, follow it. Follow it. It just means you're taking the next linear logical thing for you, and it may not make sense because things that come from God are from creation. They're creating something new within you that you may not be familiar with. And so you can go back and review what we've talked about here today. Take the steps, or ask me, give me another comment, or write to me privately and ask questions, and we'll see what we can do to help move you into the next thing. But you're always moving. You're always moving forward. So thank you, Yee. I love you. You're so helpful for me. Okay, so until the next time, in a day or a week, we'll do this again. And if this time worked for you, then that's what I'll look forward to, is next Saturday. And so God bless you. Always stay safe, be well, and be happy. That's where you want to be. You're way more than you think you are. Till the next time. Bye. Whoops. Okay. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Wow. Oh. Yay.